Time now for your forewarned weather with Cedric Haynes.
All right, let's talk about this atmospheric river setup that we have been tracking for you here, as we've got a couple of features out there, a low pressure in the Gulf of Alaska, but we've got this dominating ridge of high pressure. It's a blocking high pressure in the Pacific Ocean here off towards the west coast of California. In between that, we squeeze in that river of moisture. It's called an atmospheric river, and that moisture is coming in off of the ocean, moving into the Pacific Northwest, but as it tries to move into the northern half of the Beehive State, that blocking high pressure kind of kicks it off to the north and east. But we're going to see that try to give way a little bit here over the next 12 hours, and that may allow a little bit of a surge of moisture to move in. It's just not going to be a lot of moisture. So even if we do see a little bit of moisture moving in over the next 12 hours, it's not going to amount to much. And here's the problem. That ridge of high pressure rebuilds and gets a little stronger, pushing that moisture way up into Canada by the time we get towards this weekend and really heading into the beginning of next week. I don't see much change. That ridge of high pressure keeping us quiet with that moisture staying well off to our north and west. So if you were hoping for a big storm or some more precipitation or colder temperatures, it is just not in the cards here over the next 6 to 10 days at least. As we look at high pressure, you'll be able to see that's the story for us today, but the clouds will be increasing for areas along and north of the I-80 corridor here as we go into this afternoon hours. Now, we could see a couple of sprinkles or a spotty shower up near the Utah-Idaho border this afternoon. I think a slightly better chance of a couple of isolated valley rain showers and mountain snow showers developing once we get into the evening hours. But again, this is not going to be much. It's not going to amount to much. It's not going to last long. By the time we get into your Wednesday, look at that moisture train already pulling off to the north and east, and that ridge of high pressure just keeps us very quiet, and that storm track well off to our north here going to the rest of the week. So as we look at your potential snow accumulations as this bit of moisture moves into the area, there's just not a lot there. A light little dusting potentially up towards the western Uintas, maybe out near Alta if you get high enough in the elevation. And then the best chance will potentially be up near the Bear River Range mountains. That's where we could see maybe some light, decent accumulations. But even that, it's going to be very slim out there for most areas. So as far as the measurable liquid precipitation, you can see the I-15 corridor, I don't see much, if anything, measurable showing up. Maybe a trace in some spots and maybe up to 1/100th of an inch. But again, this is more towards the Bear River Range, places like the Alta area. That's about the best we're going to be able to do. All right, temperatures out there, upper 30s to low 40s across the northern half of the state, 20s and 30s across central and southern sections of the state. Even though it's chilly this morning, we will rebound this afternoon. Low 60s expected for your high with, again, the average high being in the mid-50s. So we'll be about 10 degrees above average across southwest Utah today. Meanwhile, the Wasatch Front, I've got us in the mid-50s for highs with the cloud-sun mix. The average high is about 40 degrees, so that's going to be a solid 15 degrees above average for this time of the year. And looking ahead, I'm not seeing much of a cool down heading our way. Again, as we go all the way through most of next week, I've got that jet stream splitting the central portions of the country with the cold Arctic air situated across the east and southeastern half of the country. Meanwhile, the well above average temperatures really settling in across the west and expanding, and it's a likelihood that we're going to be dealing with above average temperatures all the way up through the weekend leading up to Christmas here across the region. So don't expect much in the way of any wintry changes between now and then. St. George, I've got you in the low 60s, jumping into the upper 60s through the end of the week with that sunshine expected across the area. Meanwhile, the Wasatch Front, we've got that slight chance of a little moisture this evening, and it is a slight chance. Otherwise, upper 50s Wednesday and Thursday, staying nice through the weekend. All right, quick check on the traffic this morning as we get you out the door. You'll be able to see here quiet, light conditions out there across the area. So whether you're traveling east to westbound on I-80 or traveling north to south on I-15, things are looking pretty good this morning here as the flow of traffic is picking up. A little bit of a breeze out there right now, but overall, not looking too bad. That's the latest look at your traffic and weather. Let's get you over to Matt.